Our Founding Fathers understood that it is impossible to have liberty and freedom without limited representative government, which governs according to the will of the people or true justice, and without a citizenry who possessed core values. Those values would include moral virtue, acknowledgement of a need for personal responsibility, and a personal knowledge of their Creator, the one who is the author of true freedom, virtue, and justice. Therefore, it is the passion of those of us in 9/12 that we return to the Founders' vision, which was based on those values and principles, which will once again restore our nation and her people to its high calling to be the beacon of light and hope, not only for ourselves, but for the rest of the world. This series is designed for the purpose of promoting that objective. Our goal is to identify the Founders' vision for this nation based on their fundamental beliefs and mindsets that led to the development of all our founding documents, which in turn established us as the most productive, most creative, most liberated people in the history of all mankind. And along with that, defined the beliefs, mindsets, and worldview of the Founding Fathers, determined who and what it was they listened to. We will then explore what has caused us to deviate from that path that our Founding Fathers so wisely laid out for us. And finally, our goal is to discover what it will take for the restoration, not only of this nation, but also of ourselves. We cannot continue to be the people that we have been for the last 50 or 60 years and expect that anything different will take place to bring about the restoration of our country. It will not happen. The first step in restoration is to recognize and acknowledge where we are and why. Second, we must be, as individuals, willing to change directions. We need a willingness to listen, followed by a desire to be transformed in a way that takes us back to the mindset and belief systems which transformed our Founding Fathers. What must be included in this transformation is the taking on of personal responsibility regarding the rights bestowed upon us by God, neither man nor governments.
To set the stage, we will begin by identifying the basis of our Founding Fathers' belief system and their worldview. We are starting out with a video by David Barton because during the course of our research and preparation for this presentation, we found that no one does a better job in terms of clarity, simplicity, and accuracy when it comes to presenting the facts upon which the rest of this presentation will be built. It is imperative that if we hope to restore our nation to the values and principles that has made our nation the greatest, most free nation in the history of mankind, we not only have a clear understanding of what those values and principles were, but why they were so incredibly important to our Founding Fathers. Later, armed with that information, we will compare it to what it is that drives our nation and her people today. This comparison is important because we cannot make the assumption that those of us in this so-called freedom movement are the same people driven by the same principles as those who founded this nation, simply because we espouse to have similar ideals. Throughout the generations from the Founding Fathers until today, a subtle, and sometimes not so subtle, transformation and tainting of the American people has taken place that would, in many ways, make even us, those of us in 9/12 and in this freedom movement, unrecognizable to those great early Americans. Throughout the series, a question must be asked by all of us. What is the point of this anyway? Not the presentation per se, but the point of our involvement in the cause. What are we really hoping to accomplish? If it is to be part of the change we deem necessary to save our nation, then we have to remember that if we are going to be agents of change in this culture, we must first be changed ourselves. If change in each of us wasn't required, then we would already have the culture and the society that we desire. We hope that through this series you will gain a deeper understanding of what the point was for our Founding Fathers. It is also our hope that with that understanding there will come a greater awareness that if we are engaged in this fight for the same reasons as our Founding Fathers and we are equipped with the same tools with which they fought, we then are not wasting our time, nor will our efforts be futile. initial presentation by David Barton may be controversial for some, but the facts are hard to dispute. Though not exhaustive by any means, this DVD cites many documented examples of how the establishment of this nation was based not only on the founders' belief in God and the Bible, but on their desire to see His principles, laws, and truths implemented into our education system, our government, and the public affairs of our nation. Whether or not America will return to its guiding philosophy remains to be seen. Are there enough of us who truly believe, as the founders did, that it is God and obedience to His word that is behind the exceptionalism we've experienced as a nation and the only hope for our future? If so, what changes are we willing to make in our thinking, our beliefs, and in our actions that will lead us back there? This series will not just be about more information for you to store in your already overloaded brains. It is our desire that what you hear in the weeks ahead will be life-changing, so much so that neither you nor our nation will ever be the same as a result. So let the revolution begin.